Hi, welcome to Money Confidence. I'm Crystal Ockley, the Chief Financial Strategist here at Confidence Wealth, and every week I bring a topic to you that's talked about in my meetings that I think you may find helpful. So today's topic is going to be all about your net worth and what does that mean to you and how do you measure it? Because a lot of times I find that people look at net worth a little bit differently. They're looking at the value of their properties, but they forget to deduct the debt. So it's really important to understand that. Remember, ultimately, the reason it's important for you to understand your net worth, it also helps you really understand what do you owe versus what do you own, right? Two different things. And then also seeing risk, the risk of how much debt you have, or is it even a risk? But it is really important to understand that so you truly know what is your net worth, and also if something happened to you, what is left over to your beneficiaries, and is there a risk to that because there may be a lot more debt than you thought. So I'll give you an example. Like sometimes when I talk to someone about their primary residence and what is it worth, they tell me what the value of the home is at that time, and they believe that's what it's worth. Well, not really. What it's worth to that individual would be what is the equity on it, right? Because does it really matter if the house is worth $1 million if you owe $500,000 in it? Doesn't matter that you say that's the value of my house. The value of the house to you is really the $500,000 equity minus, right? That we'll give the example of saying, let's pretend you had a $500,000 mortgage on it. So if your property is worth $1 million, you take the $1 million minus the mortgage, in this example, $500,000. The difference is that equity. That equity is what the house is worth to you. So it's important to look at everything that way. So for example, if you have rental properties, list all of your rental properties, list down everything, what is it worth as of today? What do I owe on it? And that difference is really that equity to you. It's in a sense that net worth to you. And it's important to really look at that. So look at all your accounts. So for example, sit down and say, I have this IRA worth this much. I have this bank account worth this much. I have these brokerage accounts worth this much. And then I have properties that are worth this much minus any debt I have. And minus any debt means minus the debt on the properties, minus any credit card debt, minus any, if you had student debt, whatever the debt that you have. And whatever's remainder is what will be your net worth. And now we talked about why is it important to understand your net worth, because that is what you're worth and that is what you're leaving in a sense to your heirs. So what's important is to understand that, because then am I going to have estate problems, right? Like meaning, is your estate worth a certain amount and you're going over that, and now your children have to pay a hefty estate tax at the time of your death. So you have to look at that and then know how are they going to pay for that. So example, let's say you're leaving your kids possibly your business, possibly a series of LLCs that are holding real estate. So if it's going to be worth a certain amount, that's going to be over that net worth of where this estate, right, is going to tax you. You have to look and say, is there enough money that they can pay that taxes off, right? Do I have liquid assets to pay that off, or are they going to have to now sell the business, or they're going to have to sell the properties in order to be able to pay the taxes on it? So as you can see, knowing your net worth is important for so many reasons. It's important for you to know what the bottom line is. It's important to know what the bottom line is when it comes to your heirs, and also help you get insurance coverage that you need. So let's say if you had a primary residence, then it's important, but you have a big mortgage on it. Well, it's really important that you have enough insurance that's going to pay off that mortgage. So in case something happened to you, that's already taken care of and paid for, especially if you're, younger and you still have young kids going through school. So it's really important to understand your net worth for many reasons: to protect your family, to understand what your bottom line is, and then When you know the numbers, you know how to grow those numbers, right? That's the key. So understand your net worth and make sure you're doing what you need to protect your family and to make sure you're continuously increasing that net worth. Talk to you soon.